Hello there, Stampin' friends. Welcome to Movie Monday with Jody Breckbell, Stampin' Queen. This is today's card we're going to create. It's a gorgeous card that I found on Pinterest, and we cased it for one of my classes last week. And it's using the Remarkable You stamp set and also our new Stampin' blends, and I've been playing with these, and you guys, I love them. So we're going to play with those a little bit today. But here is a little bit of a closer view of this card. I just loved the pink and the black and white together. I'm a sucker for black and white. I just love it. So this is the stamp set that we're using. This is Remarkable You. It is a 2-set stamp. I don't have the other set with me, but this is one set. And we're also going to use Timeless Treasures, a little pop of splits, I don't know, splatter. How about that? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I did stamp, all right, come on now. My papers are stuck together. So I'm gonna take a piece of Whisper White, and when working with the Stampin' blends, we have to use Memento ink. Okay, that's very important because these are our new alcohol markers. So they just give a nice, rich, gorgeous color, but basic black and StazOn will tend to be a little bit smeary whenever you're using the blendy pens. So we're going to stamp with Memento, and I'm just going to do 2 little leaves here, sets of leaves. And I apologize. I make videos on Sunday mornings. I don't know if you guys know that. So you see Movie Monday on Mondays. I make my videos on Sunday mornings, and I'm getting ready to go out and work on our dairy farm. The sun's not up yet, and so we have a crazy glare with my light source today. So we're just going to have to deal with that a little bit. You're going to see some shadowing. I am actually watching the sunrise as I look out my window while I'm making videos for you guys. So I'm going to take our old olive Stampin' blends. So with these new blends, they come in 2 colors. You get a dark and a light version. They are sold separately, which is great. So if you have one that you've used and you've loved so much and it's going dry, you can just buy a separate one. They do not come in a pack. I'm stuck on the price. I think you can get 2 of them for $9, so I think they're $4.50 each. And they do have a dual tip, so they have a small tip and they also have a large brush tip, which I really enjoy. So what I like to do is I'm going to take my dark olive, and I'm just going to go in here where all these little shading areas are on my leaf. So kind of the center vein, and then the little shady areas there. And I'm just going to do, I don't have to do all of them because I do have a piece of designer paper that's going to come across here, and so I don't have to color all of those in. So just a little bit of dark there just to give it some shading. Do I see that one there? A little bit. Okay. Oh, forgot this one. Now, one thing you want to do is make sure that you hear the click when you put this lid back on. Okay, you want to hear that sharp pop. Alcohol markers obviously are alcohol, and alcohol evaporates very quickly. So you want to make sure that that lid is nice and tight on there so that you don't have them dry out on you. So be very careful with them. With the tip, you want to make sure that you color gently, that you don't end up fraying the tip, because then you get a little bit of a mess there. So then I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to color over top of where I did my dark. And what I tend to do on this one, I kind of like to see the shading, but whenever you're coloring, and I always like to start, I take that back. I usually like to start with my light first, color the whole thing, and then go back and add some dark shading. And you'll see how I do that once we get to the flower portion. This one with the leaves, I don't really care if it's not blended totally, because I want to see that dark and light, that dark and light variation. I feel like it's so early I can't talk. I'm so sorry, you guys. All right, so there's my nice sharp snap. And you'll also see that these markers are flat, which makes it really nice because they tend not to roll off your table. And yeah, I'm digging these. I really like them. So I know that we had them before. Okay, we had Stampin' Blendabilities. If you've been with me or with Stampin' Up for a little while, you know that we had a very sad and a very dark time in Stampin' Up. And that was when our Blendabilities came out and had some issues, and they actually recalled them and stopped production. So that was a couple years ago, and these have been in production and testing since. They have assured us that they've been doing tons and tons of testing on them to make sure that they don't dry out, and that was the problem we had with the other ones. So I did, you know, I am a little gun shy, but I love my company, and I know that they don't steer me wrong. So I did go ahead and buy them. I've been playing with them. I've been using them in classes. They've been sitting on my shelf, and nothing is going wrong so far. So I'm really, really thrilled to have these, because just look at that rich color that you get. You just don't get that with regular markers. So we were talking in class the other day, you know, do you have to have these? Absolutely not. They totally are something that if you love to color and you love deep, rich tones, they might be something that you want to look into. We also still have watercolor pencils, which are so fun as well. We do have our markers, which are great. We have aqua painters and blender pens that you can use with your ink pads. There are tons of ways to color, and this is just another added option. So if you are local and you want to come hang out at class and give them a try, please do, because I think you'll really be happy with them. And I'm very thrilled that we are offering them in a 2-color, not pack. People have asked me, are they refillable? Some of the alcohol markers on the market are refillable. These are not, and they wanted to keep the price point where it's just easier for you to buy a new marker. And that's pretty much where we are. If your marker is going dry, you've used it and you've loved it all up, just buy another marker. You don't have to worry about, with the refills, I think you have to remove the tip and you have to put the solution in and put the tip back or soak the tip. You know, it's just buy a new marker. And I like ease. I'm an easy peasy girl, so I'm not going to worry with all that kind of stuff. I just want my marker. So this is a little strip of our, what is it called? Be Merry Christmas paper, actually. And so I just put that on there very crooked. Again, I'm talking, it's Sunday morning. You know what? I don't even care, y'all. I don't care. All right, so now I took that flower. I don't know what that is, but we just want just the flower. So I stamped that on there in the Memento ink. And I'm going to color now with our rich razzleberry. Okay, so what I like to do is go over the entire thing with the light color. And all right, so I want to make sure I didn't put my yellow. I just took a little marker and just kind of Daffodil Delight and just kind of put a little yellow there in the center of my flower. And this is kind of sketchy, so you don't have to do the entire thing. You can kind of leave it look like it has a little shading areas in there, and kind of want to think where this flower might end up being the darkest and put some shading in there. Okay, so now you can leave it that way, or what I like to do is go back in with my light color and I just start to color over where that darkest was, that area where they blended together. One thing that I will tell you, sometimes you don't quite get the look you were hoping for. Let it dry, okay? This really absorbs into your paper. Look what you'll see on the back, okay? Really absorbs into the paper. It's alcohol, so it tends not to dry right away. I mean, it's dry to the touch, so it's not gonna come off on your fingers, but it takes some time to actually dry into the paper. And there's times where I've left and I've come back a couple hours later and I'm like, that looks totally different than what I walked away looking at. So definitely make sure that you give it some drying time. And so I just kind of go over and create that gradient there. Now, what I did with this one also was I wanted to have some light and shadow, like where it looks like maybe the light's hitting it. So I came in with the color lifter, and the color lifter is clear. It's just made to pull up a little bit of the dark color that you laid down. You don't want to use it so much so that you start to, what's the word? Like bleed your paper. You just want to pull up a little bit of color, and I don't know if it'll show so much. So I kind of just wanted these tips of that flower to look a little bit lighter. Okay, and it doesn't really get on your blender or your color lifter. Sometimes, if you're lucky, if you do go outside the line, you can use the color lifter to peel off the color that you may have accidentally gotten outside the line. But I kind of like the fact that you can bleed this and make it go outside the line and have it be cool. So anyway, that's a lot of talk about our blends. You're welcome to leave me any messages, any comments that you might have. But sometimes, you know, play with them and let them dry. That's definitely a great piece of advice I have for you, is give them drying time, and you'll be surprised at what they look like in a couple hours. So this is my You Are Remarkable sentiment. So I want to stamp that on there. And then I came in with some smoky slate, and I just want, let me see how inky this one is. Sometimes it's a little, nope, that's good. I just am going to do a little bit of splatter on there. Okay. Then I cut these out. Okay, I'm going to try and do this pretty fast. Okay, well, actually, you know what? It doesn't matter. We're going to put a little bit of, I've talked so much about the blender pens, or the blendy pens, that I don't want to take up too much more of your time. Plus, I really do need to go out and work. All right, I took some black solid black baker's twine. I did 2 pieces. Just wrap that around the front here. And now I'm going to attach that to my rich razzleberry card base. And then I took some dimensionals, and so I would have 2 of these. There's my one I already cut out ahead of time. And you can see how, can you tell the difference in that this is the one I just did, and this is the one that's nice and dry. It kind of lightened up a little bit. And, you know, I did use the color lifter, but that's the difference that can make just letting it completely dry into your paper. So I just put this on with maybe 2 dimensionals. Okay, then I'll cut this one out later. I'm going to pop that on, slide this piece underneath of here. Make a little bow. And there you go. Beautiful. So that's a little bit of, oh, actually, you know, you can put your, you know, white in there for the inside then. So this is what you'll have when you're finished. It would be pretty to do a little bit of Winkostella on there, a little bit of shimmer and shine, because I love my Winker pen. And then I also cut a leaf and then just stuck that under there. So that is my card for today. I do want to encourage you, if you are on my Facebook page, I have a Jody Breckbill Stampin' Queen group. Okay, it's new. I'm changing over to a group now. It's going to be a little easier to communicate. You and I can communicate better. And I do lots of giveaways, and you guys aren't seeing them because Facebook is very picky on business pages as to what it allows me to show you. So a lot of times I post and you guys say I never even saw it. So we're moving to a group, okay? I want you to go onto Facebook, Jody Breckbill, Stampin' Queen group. Ask to join. It is a closed group. You just have to ask and I approve you. It is no big deal, but that's just to keep the spammers out because they're out there. And I'm going to start using that group, and I do lots of giveaways, tell you what's going on in Stamping World. We have specials coming, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so I want to be able to communicate better with you guys. So Facebook, Jody Breckbill, Stampin' Queen group. Make sure you get on there because on Mondays I do Happy Mail Monday, and I will be giving away this card on Movie Monday today. So you want to get on there and see the post and comment, and you might win this card for Happy Mail Monday. So thanks so much for joining me, you guys. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, our Stampin' Blends are available. They are not in the catalog just yet, but they will be coming because Occasions catalog is coming, as well as Celebration, one of our favorite times of the year. So have a great week, and I will see you next week for Movie Monday.